Hey guys, this is Pat and Heidi from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And so we wanted to give everybody a little bit of an update of kind of what we've been up to and what we're about to do, or what we embark on doing, or what we plan on doing. Sometimes plans don't happen the way they start out with during the year, but you know, we just wanted to kind of give you an update, an overview of kind of where we've been and where we're planning on going.
And where we're going, and if we can even imagine. Hopefully it's not anywhere in a handbasket.
Where are you going and why are you in that handbasket? So yeah.
Do you want to kick us off with talking about one of the things you did, like maybe the tree?
Oh, yeah, we big land clearing project out in the front. We have a couple of large trees. One is a tree that is an ash tree that I've just taken out, and we also plan on removing our large cedar tree that's out in the front yard eventually, because it overshadows our peach tree that we have planted out there, and I think it imparts bad soil and just bad things to that tree, and I'm not sure if it's a mold or what do they call that?
Yeah, our neighbor
rust?
Had an idea. Yeah,
cedar rust they call it.
She had a fruit tree across the street that she was having issues with, and she believed it was caused from our cedar.
Or a cedar, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we want to open that up in the front yard and possibly make that a mini orchard. That's just kind of a brainstorm right now, and so we would like to have some sort of trees that we can benefit from by way of fruit.
And it's a tough thing because, I mean, remember, if you're new to our channel, you may not realize we're just in a neighborhood on 1/3 of an acre. Thankfully, we have a corner lot, so that makes it easier for us. But, you know, trying to make the space for all the things we want to do.
Optimize our area.
And, you know, the cedar tree, I love the cedar tree. I hate to see it go. And the ash tree, our boys used to climb that tree a lot and hang out in there, and they even had their kind of little fort up there. And I think I have a picture of that somewhere, but you know, it was kind of heartbreaking to see it go on one hand, but on the other hand, it's exciting to see more space where we can actually put some more fruit trees, because we have 2 plum trees that the neighbor gave us a few years ago that actually produce fruit.
Some starts off of his tree, yeah.
Yeah, and this year was the first year we got fruit, and they're still in pots that are only, what, this big?
Right.
They're just in little pots, and they actually gave us fruit, so I'm really excited about seeing those go on the ground so we can see much more fruit, because I got plans for those plums.
Now we have another apple tree that probably needs to be replanted, and I'd kind of like to get some cherries planted in the front yard. A cherry that will grow good in this area and it will be self-pollinating would be a good thing. And there's a cherry tree that our neighbor actually has, and it produces cherries. It grows great in this area.
And it's a
and
sweet
what
cherry.
Did she call it? Something black gold.
Black gold
cherry tree. And so we might give that a try. And it's a
I would
self-pollinator.
like to get another pie cherry, because pie cherries, even though he likes the sweet cherries, I like them too. I like the pie cherries because they there's other options you can do with them. They're just, because of their tartness. I had a little pie cherry tree in a pot out here, and it did well for a few years, and then the grapevines just overshadowed it too much, and it actually just up and died one year because it just couldn't take it not getting enough sun.
Right.
But I made a really wonderful mixed fruit jam with that. Oh, it was so good, using the pie cherries and raspberries, and I can't remember what else, but it was so wonderful.
Well, if we keep the trees small enough out front, we can keep them,
We can probably
you know,
put quite a
where they
few.
won't overshade each other.
Yeah.
So we'll have to manage that.
I wonder if you staggered them.
That's the plan. Plan is to stagger them,
instead of having them in a straight line.
but we need to keep them manageable.
Right.
You know, dwarf type trees are probably what we're going to be looking to get.
Right.
And being able to prune them back so they get good light, and so also that your other garden that you're putting in behind, north of those trees, will actually be able to get some sun.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of you know, a lot of folks that have bigger pieces of property may not have as much of a problem utilizing their land. They just go out farther with their trees, but we have to we have to be thinking about where the sun's positioned.
Yep.
We have to think of area and multiple ways of using that space. So,
Right.
so there's
it's
tricky.
It's fun though. It's
yeah.
a challenge. That's one thing about. I mean, I would love to have acres and acres of land where we can just go. Oh, let's just plop our garden here or trees over there. It's. I mean, that's great to not have to think about it. But there's also this kind of fun in the challenge of how much can we actually do on this little space. I mean, okay, so we have 1/3 of an acre. We've got a 1,200 square foot shop. We've got a 2,400 square foot house. We got the greenhouse. We've got the main garden bed. We've got the chicken coop. We've got firewood storage. We're doing all of this. I know I'm leaving something out.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Storage for his motorcycle.
Hey, that's a yeah.
Anyway, so we're trying to puzzle everything together in this little space. But so coupled with that, with the whole idea what he's talking about with the tree and the front yard garden, as some of you know, if you watched previous videos, that from the year before and this past spring, that I keep expanding that garden out front. And this year, boy, the zucchinis are just doing great. So now I don't need to plant a zillion zucchinis just to get a few. That is the best spot. The zucchinis are loving it out there, so that I'm going to expand that area even more. The potatoes did great out there for the last 2 years. The zucchini did great. The zucchini starts coming in after the potatoes are all done, so it's perfect. So I'm going to expand that even more, and especially when the cedar tree comes out, there'll be even that whole area there that's right in front of the deck too will get so much more sun that I'll be able to do more. It'll be sad to see the cedar tree go, but it'll be good to see with what we can.
So one of the things that if you guys have been following us for a long time, know that we struggled about getting chickens at one point. Where are we going to put them? Do we have enough room? Do we have a place to put them? And so we thought long and hard and talked with some of our viewers and buddies out there that have chickens, and you know, we did all the math, we did all the figuring and research, and we decided to get 7 Buff Orpington chickens. But before we did that, I built a chicken house or chicken coop underneath our boy's old playhouse, and I had to replace all of the posts. The upright supports were all rotting out from under it because it was an elevated fort that they had, little house there that they had.
Yeah, that was a big scary project when he had to replace all those posts.
So I had to lift the playhouse up with the tractor or jack it up using bottle jacks and different things to jack that up and put the posts in to set the house back down on top of that. But anyway, before that build, the playhouse had a porch on it. It was just built out with tongue and groove materials that I had reclaimed out of our expansion that we did to our house a while back for Heidi's dance studio. And so it leaked underneath the playhouse into the new chicken house. So I had to figure out a way to seal that off without affecting the integrity of the porch up above there. And so I came up with put and roll roofing down, and so this year is one of those projects to try to get that weathered in to where it's not dripping down into the chicken house and making a mess in there, and making a better, more sanitary environment for the chickens.
Also, they don't seem to mind getting a little bit wet, but
no, they actually, you know, they don't mind it at all.
But they care. But it probably worried me more than anything, and plus being concerned about rotting out.
It'd rot out the now the way we have that now, the water would permeate the walls and different things and start introducing rot and different things.
Right.
So I needed to get that taken care of. So I believe I have that taken care of now.
The true test will come wintertime.
Wintertime when the rains come and the monsoons
rains
and everything else comes.
Yeah.
And aside from being just a big vat of tool dip and, you know, dipping something in there and just, you know.
We did actually have a pretty good, just a a week or so ago got some pretty heavy rains, which is odd for this time of the year. And for a few days, and it looked pretty good. It was staying dry, but the true test comes when the heavy rains come back here in rain country.
Wind and rain.
For a good week straight, and then that's when you know. And that's why we didn't know until middle of winter last year how bad it was going to be. Because it seemed like it was good. Everything was good when the rains first started coming, but what happened was it was hitting the deck, and then not just dripping down there, but then running into the playhouse, I believe, and then dripping down because he had put down.
Well, we were trying to do it money free, you know, so I was doing it out of some of our hillbilly piles, as Heidi calls them, and that didn't work out.
The old fiberglass from the
it didn't work out so well because it's a flat roof. Flat roofs around in rain country are not the best thing, you know. If you're in Arizona, that's one thing, but when you're in rain country, you want to have a slope and a pitch on everything around. So anyway, so that was one of the big projects we have done, and now I just got to put the railing and stuff back up, get the materials for the, you know, to reinstall some of the railings. So I modified some of the deck a little bit to accommodate, make it a little bit more user friendly for everything that we got going on there. So that's one project that we almost completed. It's mostly done. So, but
you know, just coming back to the Buff Orpingtons. For those who live in very rainy climates, now we get, I say it all the time, but some people still don't understand the amount of rain we get. We get an average of 120 inches of rain per year, but we can get up to 160 easily. Seattle, by comparison, is 40 to 50 inches per year. So people think of Seattle as being very wet and rainy, and it's nothing compared to here. And so the Buff Orpingtons, I mean, they don't like it when it's really heavy raining. They'll go in the wintertime. What I'll do, I don't have anything grown in the greenhouse, so I'll just open up the greenhouse and they'll hang out in there during the day where they can be nice and dry and not have to be cooped up in their coop. But if it's just drizzling, they'll run all over and they'll get soppy wet, and they don't seem to care. So if you're looking for a chicken that doesn't seem to mind a lot of rain, go for the Buff Orpingtons. At least I know for them. They don't care. Right. So now let's see. Some of the things I've been working on, I mean, besides the obvious, you know, constantly, you know, skirts. I love making the skirts, by the way. I love it. I get custom orders. I have skirts that go up on my store. I try to put 2 to 3 up on the store per week. It's going to depend on how many custom orders I have to fulfill that week. I have fun being creative, using both the garage sale fine fabrics I get, plus the stuff that I buy brand new from the store. I order my fabrics from different places online because that's the easiest for me. But anyway, I love being creative and finding ways to do all that. But aside from all that, I've been still working on experimenting with different things like the zucchini. You may have seen my dehydrating zucchini and different ways to use zucchini. I've got a few different videos out there, but I'm still experimenting. Some of it's based on things I saw people post in the comments below some of my other videos, but one of my new ones is experimenting with using dehydrated and powdered up zucchini as a partial flour replacement. Now, I don't think it could ever go as a full flour replacement because it would just be too heavy, but I've been trying it in my yeast bread. I really like it. I think it turns out really good. It's still heavy though, so it's one of those breads you want to eat up right away while it's warm and yummy. But I'm still working on that, and once I feel like I have a pretty good recipe to share where people can use you find another way to use their zucchini. So it's a different kind of bread. It's not your typical zucchini bread, like a sweet, quick bread. This is a yeast bread, a savory kind of bread, something you would you know, toast and use for breakfast, or make sandwiches with, or even use as a garlic bread for to go with your Italian dishes, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm working on. Mr.
Rain gets to be the guinea pig. Yeah. If I'm alive the next day, well, then she'll keep making experiments, you know, and trying different things.
Oh, he's still alive. I'll work with it some more then.
Try this on him.
You're not that expendable, Patrick.
Oh.
Good grief. I usually take the first taste of everything.
Oh, do you?
Yes,
okay.
I do. You could say I'm The key, what do they call it? The cup bearer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay.
So Heidi got a real sweet deal. I think she paid
Sweet
like
deal.
$10 on
$10.
2 or 3 sets of curtains, heavy curtains.
There was like
And
8 panels.
Right, and so they're the kind that have the big rings through them that you put the large dowel, the large curtain rod through them. So she didn't have the curtain rods to go with the curtains. So I built her a couple sets.
You
at
just
least,
built
at least,
the one.
At least one for our big bay window. That's
Yeah.
probably a 10-foot window-ish.
Yeah, it's a
And
big window.
so
That's the one
I
in our living room.
Built some curtain rods for, I actually built the dowels and the hangers in the shop here out of some wood that I had around.
Yeah,
And,
it's beautiful. And one of these days, he did shoot a video of it. It's just very long, so it may be wintertime before I get it put together and edited and up where you can see it. But yeah, it was really nice to find and get rid of those stupid mini blinds. I hated those things. They were great back when we first got them, but cleaning, anyone who's ever had the mini blinds knows how hard they are to keep clean. And so it was so nice to get rid of those. And now I just have this, I can see my beautiful window, and then the curtains for $10. I mean, I got enough panels to not only cover that big window, but to replace the curtains in my rec room. I just had some curtains I made out of sheets that were just a little too thin. You could, if the light was on in the rec room and dark outside, you could see clear in there. So it was nice to put some more private curtains up there. So when I'm sitting at my sewing machine, if I'm working in the dark, at nighttime or early morning before the sun comes up, which is often, I can actually have those curtains shut and be in privacy. So thank you, Mr. Rainfall.
Yeah.
And he made that curtain rod in there too, but that was earlier. That was years ago.
Yep. So you can make a dowel out of just regular lumber if you, and I show you how to do that in that video.
But yeah.
Other than the shop
patient.
stuff, I'm just making some things to put up on our Etsy store so we can get by.
Mortars and pestles.
Mortar and pestles and bowls and
fire puck
jigs. Those have gone over actually pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't expect to sell them. He just did a video on how to make one for yourself, and people started showing interest in buying them. So
Right.
he started making them and putting them up on the store. And
Sure.
That and the pasta drying rack.
Oh, the
was
pasta
another
drying
big
rack
one.
and cutting boards.
Cutting boards.
Anyway, I'm thinking of new things to build that are actually practical. So maybe you'll see some more of that kind of stuff coming up.
I
in a
love my
video
chicken cutting board. It's so cute. Okay, one more thing I'm going to talk about is just some of you know this year we bought some new currants. I decided to get rid of the goji berries out of the garden because I'm tired of having them for so many years and them not producing, especially when I've seen people say they got theirs, little baby plants they produced in the first year. And I've talked to other people around the area here that tried growing goji berries and they've had the same problem. So they're just not, they don't like it here.
We gave them a fair chance.
Yeah, and so considering our limited space, the goji berries are gone. Well, actually I have one more to pull up. And I replaced them with currants. They seem to be doing well so far. And then my friend, who I go visit once a week and get some wonderful goat's milk from, she has a gooseberry that tastes, it's red. It's not the green gooseberry. It's a dark red, and it tastes to me exactly like a sweet tart. And I'm like, I have to get one of those. So I looked it up. I go down to our nursery, our local nursery. Great place, wonderful people. And I asked them about that, and they didn't think they had any. And so I'm like, well, when I find out the name for it, I'm going to have you guys order it up for me. So I go down there another day, and I'm just looking around, and they had a bunch of older plants that they've had for a while that didn't have any tags on them. But I saw this one that looked an awful lot like my friend's red gooseberry, and so I took a taste of it. It had berries on it, so I took a taste of it, and I'm like, that's it, I'm buying it. They didn't have a price on it or a name or anything. They didn't even know what it was. I said, this is that gooseberry I'm talking about. I know it is. And they were like, oh, okay. And so they sold it to me, so now I've got that. It's not super great shape because you can tell they probably had it for quite a while. and I repotted it into a bigger
Starving to
pot.
death in the same pot it's been in for probably 3 years, you know.
Yeah, so we'll see how it does. Hopefully it'll make it through the winter, and I'll have some of those yummy sweet tart gooseberries. I mean, this isn't just a fruit that is sweet and tart. There's a lot of those out there. This tastes really like the sweet tart candy. To me it does. So good. But
well,
anyway.
there's a lot more things that we could talk
Yes.
about, but I know this video is kind of getting long in the tooth. If you guys like
Long
what
in
you're
the tooth.
seeing, let us know in the comments below, and we'll talk
do
about
some
some more of our
Yeah.
projects that we're doing,
Right.
videos that we got coming out, and
Yeah.
you know,
I thought it would be kind of fun for us to just kind of periodically try to do an update. So
Yeah.
if you like it, then we'll keep doing it at least once a month.
right.
So
We appreciate all you guys that subscribe to us and watch us and share us with other with your friends. Come back and visit us on a daily basis.
Yes,
we got
please.
We got videos coming out
5 days a week.
5 days a week. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope we are sharing content that is helpful to you guys.
and enjoyable.
Yeah, and don't hesitate.
This
It's funny.
reminds me, Mr. Rain should do some more of his goofy videos. He's done a couple of goofy fun videos. So if you haven't seen those, check them out. I'll go ahead and link to them, at least one of them up here, because they're fun. They did those just for fun. We'll do that every once in a while.
Okay. All right then. Well, enough of that. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care.
God bless.